Good morning, noon, or night. My name is Jet, and welcome to my channel, JITV. So, I want to just start by reading this verse. It is John 3:19. So, it talks about condemnation, okay? And we all know right before that it says, okay, for God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. Okay? He didn't send him here to condemn them. He sent them here to save them. Okay? He that believes on him is not condemned, but he that believes on him is not condemned, but he that believes on him is condemned already, because he has not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God. Okay? And it says, and this is the condemnation. This is what's the condemning part. That light is come into the world, and men love darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. Okay? For everyone who does evil hates the light, neither comes to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved. Okay? But he that does truth, he comes to the light, that his deeds may be manifested, that they are true in God. So it says people that believe on Jesus, if you hear about Jesus and you hear that he's only good and he's a love-based living individual, okay, and you love Jesus because you understand that he's good, he is the light, okay, that's the saving faith, or the saving decision that you come to. For people who hate Jesus, like when Jesus came here, people tried to kill him all the time, literally. Just the same thing is happening today. People who love God, love Jesus, people are always trying to put their light out, to get rid of them, to not have them around, because simply by somebody who loves love and loves Jesus being around and being filled with love and life, it condemns a person who is not functioning from love, who is not a love-based living individual, but they are prideful and arrogant, and it says their deeds are evil. So what they're doing with their life is the anti-love that I'm always talking about. So if you love love and you're a love-based person, you love Jesus and you flock to Jesus when you find out about Jesus. Like, oh my gosh, everything that he says is true and it's good and it's right. But when you are in darkness and functioning in the earthly, worldly, mortal systems, being selfish and arrogant and prideful and all of these different things that tricks us and traps us into snares, you don't like Jesus. You actually hate Jesus. Even if people say that they're a Christian and they love Jesus, if they are doing hateful, murderous, anti-love, they're prideful, arrogant, they're stealing, they're doing all these different things that are not love-based, simply because the nature of reality, all of our systems are structured against love. And I've said recently that, I don't know if I'm going to post these in order, but we know that God is love. Jesus was God, okay? And to go against God, which is Jesus, is called anti-Christ. These systems that are functioning in earth, they're anti-Christ systems. They want rid of Christ. They want to get him out of here because their deeds are evil. They are oppressing the widows and the fatherless children and taking advantage of them. Where if you're a Christian, you follow Jesus Christ, what he was doing, he said specifically, how do you honor me, or how do you follow me? By taking care of the widows and the fatherless children, to have mercy on them, to help them and teach them. And what is the earthly, worldly, mortal system doing to widows and doing to fatherless children? They're sex kitten programming a bunch of young people by all of the indoctrination that's happening on the TV, media, blah, 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 and throwing a bunch of the fatherless children in for-profit prisons, either private or public. They have monetized the widows and the fatherless children. They're taking advantage of them, and they're making freaking money off of the people that are the most weak in the society, that need the most help. So I just wanted to talk about that, because specifically, I am a single mother, and that already puts you kind of, by a worldly standard, a little lower. I also have spinal cord damage, and I've had to be on disability, and there's apparently no cure, no treatment that they will talk about in any doctor, even the Cleveland Clinic, about spinal cord deterioration. Okay, I think I know what it's from, and I've been fighting tooth and nail to try and get my medical records for 3 years now, and I have not been able to get my medical records. They actually sent them to an address that was a 15-year-old address after I'd fought for 2 years. So I've been trying to get my medical records for 5 years. So, but this is the next thing I wanted to say. This is the next verse, okay? So all those things. I'm not having a pity party for myself, okay? I also homeschool my child. So literally right now, on this specific day, for these 3 hours, is the 3 hours I have a sitter. She goes to her father's house for 3 hours a week. That's literally all the help I have, and I homeschool. And I have spinal cord damage and all of these things. So, and I'm not saying that to have a pity party. I'm saying this. I'm going to read this out of the Amplified Bible. It's 1 Corinthians 1:27, okay? But God has selected for his purpose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise, revealing their ignorance. And God has selected for his purpose the weak things of the world to shame the things which are strong and reveal their frailty, okay? He uses the weak, so the people who think they're strong, worldly strong, they see the weak, and they see that we're doing it, and that God is doing it through us, and people are still jealous. If you're down at the bottom, you don't have any money, you don't have any help, you literally could be about homeless. You could be homeless, okay? If you have the light of God in you, or if you are a child of the Most High God, people are still jealous of you and envious, and they will hate you. You cannot get low enough for these people. They cannot push you low enough, because just by your existence, it shows them that they are not strong, that they are weak, they are cowards, they are haters. They do not have the power of God in them, because they are anti-love. God came as Jesus to show his character, and he was only love, right? It's the superpower of reality. He laid down his life in a way that we can't understand, because we don't understand blood and all the different things about the blood. We don't understand the nature of reality, all of these different things. All I know is when Jesus died on the cross, the sun stopped working, okay? I'm not going into that one right now, but so he'll use the foolish, so-called the foolish people. We're the foolish people if we understand, we've come to the saving knowledge of Jesus Christ and what he did and the whole rescue plan and the whole nature of reality. But the worldly people will think that we're foolish and that we're stupid and we're dumb. And I can say that because I used to think that about people. I used to think, how stupid is that? It doesn't even make any sense. Like, if he's that strong, why, all of these different things. And then I came to the knowledge and the understanding that God is love and is the superpower and is so strong that he can lay down his life and not have to man up, buck up against everybody for every little thing, because love is the superpower. You have joy, peace, contentment, kindness, patience, self-control, long-suffering, all of these things. It's the superpower of reality, not who's arrogant and selfish and prideful. All of those things are weak. Those are the actual weak things in the system. So I know a lot of guys, they're bodybuilders, right? And they lift or whatever because they feel weak. So they try to do the things to make themselves not weak, okay? And the perceptions of the world and the systems and how they try and program your mind of what's weak and what's not weak. It is inversion land. The earth, the worldly systems are inverted, flipped upside down. What's strong is weak and weak is strong. Jesus, in how he was the strongest that anybody in a body could ever be. So I'm losing light here, but so he selected it for his purpose, right? And the weak people to make the strong people realize how frail they are. You're looking at somebody and you're watching them have the strength to get through these impossible situations while you're sitting in a house, it's $300 million house, and you're having people wash your clothes for you, and you're having the best doctors come, and you're having all these things. You don't send your kids to public schools and all of these things. But you look down and you see somebody with the real strength and the real power, and you want to spend extra time and money to push them down further to get rid of them, because people with the light and love of God condemn people who are in darkness. The light came into the world, and by people continuing to hate the light and to function from the darkness, they are condemning themselves. So God's not doing that. You are doing that to yourself. So it says, come out of that, come out of that. Come and understand the nature of our mind and our body. That is the nature of our mind and our body. It's lusty and greedy and selfish and all of these things. That's what he's trying to tell you. You need help. You needed Jesus to come here, because only by him coming here, it gave us the Holy Spirit, which is the frequency of life and love that we need to overcome. We need to overcome the nature of our mind and our body until he promises to give us a glorified body. It is a body that has no anti-love, no sin. It's perfect, okay? You don't go to the bathroom and all these different things that happen from when the anti-love, the evil, got into the system of earth, okay? I also made this note quickly. I don't like taking breaks in between stuff, but I'm not going to do that one today. But this was a note I took. I said, prideful people, they don't want to be around you if you're suffering, because it causes them discomfort, because that's how we're hardwired. We are hardwired with empathy as human beings to be able to feel each other. So if there's a prideful person, they're proud, and you are suffering because you're suffering for whatever reason you may be suffering, you are causing them discomfort, okay? It's just like the last thing I was talking about, okay? Your pride, and there's a verse in there that says about Babylon, or someone saying, saving, how, I should have looked that one up, but she's talking about how she'll never be a widow, and she'll never be low, and she'll never be less. So she's got this high and mighty queen of everything. I'll never be sad. I'll never be poor. I'll never any of this. And that is how prideful people are, especially when they see other people suffering, because it reminds them of their darkness inside of them, because they refuse to suffer. They say, I'm not going to suffer. I don't suffer. Nobody's going to get to me. All this, that, and the other. And that is having a hard heart. Your heart is hardening, okay, because you think that pride and that kind of stuff is going to keep you safe from hurting. When anybody in a body, the more hard your heart is, the less power you actually have and the weaker you are. The darkness is the weakness. The love is the power. So if you're hardening your heart and you're like, oh, I'll never be poor, I'll never have this, and look at me, God is going to set you in a slippery place, and you are going to fall, because everybody is going to face the repercussions of their actions for their life. And if you are making fun and condemning and oppressing people who are at the bottom of the worldly standards, you got another thing coming. You got another thing coming. You think that you can't be brought low? You think that you could never be down there? Like, so yeah, I put that on there to expose the light, just by its existence, is condemning to the darkness. So the darkness, they play dirty. They want rid of you. They'll try and do all these different things they can to get rid of you, because they think if they can get rid of all the light, that they can have this earthly, worldly, mortal system of darkness, and they can do all the evil shit that they want to do, and that nobody will hold them accountable, and that they will never be this and they will never be that, and they can upload themselves into all of this artificial stuff and this meta stuff and everything like that. And it's so unbelievably foolish that these people, anybody, could think that they were going to get away with anything, because nobody gets away with anything. There is no screwing the system. God is allowing all of this to happen to give people time to come to Him, to change their mind about living for the darkness. Okay? Life and love is eternal everlastingness. It's eternal everlastingness. The evil, the darkness, all of those things, there's literally, it has nothing that you want. If you are a souled individual, if you have the capacity to understand love, that means you have the breath of the Most High God animating you. And all of the darkness and all of the lust and envy and sexy and all of these things are not satisfying. They will not satisfy you, because they are fleshly, in your body, in your mind, in your body. That is not the eternal everlasting part of you. That is your avatar version of you, who has been programmed by this earthly, worldly, mortal, beast, Babylonian-like system. Okay, you have to get rid of the fake self that you have been encouraged to create and to function from, and find your real self as a child of the Most High God. That's called being born again, or having your identity in Christ, being in the body of Christ. So, do you want family that's always going to be there and look out for you and have your back and love you and all of those things? Then you can't be in this darkness, because it's all cutthroat and it's all evil. Okay, those people, they fight each other, they rat on each other, they don't have any integrity. Money is important, and they'll do things for money and all that. If you want people who love you and you want a family who loves you, it's the family of belonging to Jesus Christ. That is going to be your family. But you have to reject the earthly, worldly, mortal system, and even the earthly version of yourself, and accept the new identity as a child of the Most High God. Okay, that is love. You go from anti-love to love-based living. You cannot have love when you are in an anti-love configurement or arrangement of yourself. Okay, so you have to reject it and accept becoming a child of the Most High God. It's called being born again. It's being born again of the Spirit. Okay, we all are born here in bodies, right? And we do all the things that our mind and our body wants us to do, and we're going along, and we're in the system, and we're working, and we're making friends, and we're doing these things and that things. And then everybody in a body is anyone who's a souled individual. It's being shown to them the fakeness of the reality that they are experiencing in one way or another. It may be really sad or really bad or really this, but you're searching for the truth, and you're trying this thing, and you're doing this thing, and I'll play this sport, and I'll do that thing or whatever, trying to find your identity. God put that in you so you would seek and find Him, and you will not stop until you do find Him, till you come to the saving knowledge of Jesus Christ. And I understand that Jesus probably wasn't His name. I think it was probably Yeshua or these different things. I'm getting ready to get a Hebrew English Bible to check it out. But here's the thing: plenty of people came to God by the name Jesus. Okay, by the name Jesus Christ. There's power in that name. If that's how you know God, then that is, I don't see the problem. I understand J wasn't a letter and all of these different things, but if that's how you know God, that's how you know God. And we can work on it, but all of that is minor, minor, but that is what I wanted to do. I've totally lost all my light, and so I just wanted to say that God does use the so-called weak to confound the wise, and for all the reasons that I said. And so with that, much love and many thanks. I love you. Thank you.